Welcome to Shifting Impressions, Conversations with the Realm of Beings, with me, Gretta Chamberlain, Yvonne Kraeher, Leigh Stima, and the Realm of Beings. Shifting Impressions, which is one of the vehicles that supports the transmission of the Realm of Beings, is here to assist you in delving into your being by providing numerous topics and discussions for you to intake as you deepen your connection with your inner world. Shifting Impressions is here to assist you in strengthening yourself as you excavate to understand your true nature. Leigh, Yvonne, and myself, with the Realm of Beings, eagerly invite you to join us today and learn to shift your mindset, shift your thoughts, and shift your focus to recreate your life and produce a new you. Shifting Impressions starts now.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Shifting Impressions, Conversations with the Realm of Beings. I'm Leigh, and I'm here with Yvonne and Gretta today, and naturally the Realm of Beings, and we are very pleased to be on Transformation Talk Radio every Friday at 11 a.m. Eastern, 8 a.m. Pacific. Thank you for joining us today. These conversations will help you examine your life and your creation of reality. They will help you to shift your impressions and understand what you're creating in your life and how it shows up. Today, we are going to be discussing the quotation, "Anger is a low vibrational emotion that attacks your liver." So that is quite direct and pulls no punches. And I'm sure anger, there's got to be an upside to anger. There's got to be. And so we will discuss that today. Ladies, welcome. Listeners, welcome.
Thank you.
So where do we start with this quotation? Anger is a low vibrational emotion that attacks your liver. So direct and to the point.
As the three of us stare at each other, right? Anger. I've been really thinking about that since we decided on that quote. And I was trying to think, what do we say about anger? I know my mom used to always tell me when I was a little girl, if you're angry, your anger will never reach the person that you're angry at, that it stays with you. She used to always tell me that. At the time that she told me that, I didn't understand it. I just took it as, okay, you just don't want me to be angry. But I feel that I need to be angry because that person hurt me. So I'm going to be angry with that person, you see. So if we're talking about relationships in dealing with anger, then I think one thing that we have to emphasize is, number one, nobody can ever do anything to you. Nobody. I don't care who the person is. Nobody. And the one reason why nobody can do anything to you at all ever is because you create your own reality. And we've talked about that: create, support, create. That if anyone is you quote unquote you think it's doing something to you, that's because they're supporting you. They're supporting you in where you are at the unconscious level. Because
So
that's what creates reality. Yeah.
with that in mind, as this quote specifies, anger is a low vibrational emotion that attacks your liver. So following that theme of nobody can do anything to you, is it correct in saying that you're doing this to yourself? Your anger is attacking
Absolutely.
your liver.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So every time we get angry about something out there, whether it's the weather interfering in our plans, or the cold, or the person on the road that just cut us off, anything, our partner, it's all us.
Absolutely. It's always us.
Yep.
It's never the other person.
So if you don't want your liver to be attacked, you want your liver to be healthy and well, then we should think about how we deal with our anger.
Absolutely. And one way of dealing with it is to attempt, I don't want to use the word attempt, focus on eliminating that.
But if you eliminate it, I mean, isn't anger just a normal emotion that it's a human experience? I mean, holding on to anger is a different, it's a different scene. But what
when
if you
you're
just
experiencing it, you have held it. Otherwise, you
for
can't.
a moment, but when you recognize it and let it go, isn't that just honoring the anger and saying, I honor you, I let you pass through me without holding on and attacking my liver?
I don't know if I want to honor anger.
Oh, well, then you're judging it. If you don't want to
honoring something, what do you mean?
Just recognizing it, not putting it up on a pedestal or anything, just recognizing that it's there.
Well, you'll know it's there because in various ways.
I think people that are may not be fully aware, that may not even realize they're angry. That's a possibility, isn't it?
It's a possibility if you have, like, let's say you're a passive aggressive individual. Somebody you assume has done something to you. So in a passive aggressive situation, you're not going to let them know that they made you angry, but you're going to hold it. You will hold it. So regardless,
you'll act out though. You'll do something. They'll know it for sure that you're angry because they feel it.
Maybe not. Because no, they don't necessarily have to feel it. Somebody will think that everything that you experience with them is okay because you didn't say anything. But you can be angry as I don't know what. And the other person, if you're passive aggressive, you don't want the person to know. You don't want the person to know your emotions. So therefore you hold it in. So you create to hold it in. So you're not creating for someone else the awareness. You're not creating for it to be outward so that the other person can see it or feel it. You're holding it in.
Still anger though, still attacking your liver, both forms of both ways that anger shows up. It's still there. It's
yours.
Yeah.
You created it. So therefore you're holding on to it. So you've claimed to, at this point, I am going to be angry with you. It's just that if we realize that when we get angry, that we're affecting our physical body and we're affecting all the cells, and every cell in our body recognizes that we are angry. It's just that the liver is like a filter anyway. So the liver has decided, notice what I'm going to say now. The liver.
There she goes.
Yeah.
Well, if you're giving the liver personality, we should give anger personality too. I'm going to be difficult today.
It does that, because you know what? I've started to begin to teach that emotions are really species.
Okay. I hear you. Sorry, I interrupted your flow, Greta. Go ahead, because
no. I like
jumped in.
I like the interruption. I think it's great because it gives us different viewpoints. But yeah, I'm looking at it as a being. Anger has a matrix.
And then
Right.
you said
Energy.
the liver. You were talking really primarily about how it like goes into
The
the
liver
cells.
chose to filter the anger to
Yeah.
not just a
That's because the
chemical.
anger and the liver have worked out a relationship with each other.
Oh, okay.
Okay, they worked out
Oh.
a relationship. That liver is as an organ is a being. It's a collective being, just like you and I and Leigh are. Because look at you. Each one of us, when we look at the skin, we just see the skin. But you have to look really close, and then you can, with a microscope or whatever, then you can see all the cells that make up the skin, all the cells that make up every part of our body. It's the same thing. It's no different. The liver is a living organism, just like Greta is a living organism composed of many cells.
In the Greta community.
Yes. Yes, we're in community here, So the liver is an organism just like me that is made up of all types of cells. I mean, look at it. It's got nerve cells. It's got protein. It's got enzymes. It's got everything in his mama. Okay.
So if we do have like a tendency to every now and then get angry about the road person or whatever is bothering us because this is a human experience, we can go back to the liver and just say, liver, I'm sorry for being angry. I love you. Just keep functioning happily, joyfully, right?
Can you QDR that anger if you're on top of it?
Absolutely.
And the liver, yeah.
Experience of anger, thoughts and feelings that brought it on.
Absolutely.
I release it.
Nourish, yeah. I like that.
I don't know if I would say I'm sorry.
We wouldn't say that to the... Okay.
I wouldn't say I'm sorry, because I recognize that, you and I are working together with this. You're supporting me in my anger because you're helping to keep it inside of me, along with all the other cells that are actually keeping it. So it's not just in really one place, to be perfectly honest with you, but it's everywhere. Every cell in your body is affected by your emotions, not just one group.
So good and bad, like let's just switch it up. Let's shift our focus instead of the anger. So what other emotions out there could we say affect other organs in a more supportive way that would support our journey towards like a higher vibration versus lower vibration of anger?
Joy.
Okay. So I guess people would normally feel that in your heart, you think? Your chest?
Why are you saying in your heart? What is that?
Well, if anger affects your liver, where would joy reside in your body?
We're saying, we pointed out that the liver, it's affected, the liver is affected. But I think when they said the quote, and you'll hear from them, so let me not speak for the realm, but it's showing that every part of your body will support you. So every part of your body supports you in joy, not just the heart.
Not just the heart. Okay.
No, every part of your body. And see, there's communication between each cell to the next cell. They can communicate with each other, even though they are, I might be a cell in a striated muscle, and the other one is a cell in the ventricle of one heart, but they can still communicate. Just because they are different, doing different jobs, does not mean that they cannot communicate, because there is a communal and universal communication between every cell inside your body.
Does that mean that our cells are communicating with other humanoid cells too?
Can.
Yes,
Why
right?
not? anything is possible.
Right.
I know that they communicate because within the facilitation work, I'll give you a good example. When I'm working with somebody who has decided to have a cancer experience and they come to me, the first thing I do is to thank the cancer. I don't tell it, ooh, that's a terrible thing. That's a horrible thing. You know, I tell them, I said, thank you. Thank you for coming. And letting the person know that they are experiencing, hanging on to little hurts, because that's what cancer is. A basic idea of cancer is that you've been hurt all along, over and over and over and over again. You think somebody has hurt you because you don't understand creation of reality. So therefore, there's a whole pattern to say, okay, let's, a method of communication to say, let's let this person experience cancer so that they will understand that they've held on to little hurts. Because that's what cancer is about. Now, if it's on the right side, if it's on the left side, if you are in Western culture, you know, the right side means male, the left side means female. If you're in Asian culture, it's the opposite. The left side is male, the right side is female, you know, but it's a thank you. I don't know if I ever told you this example. I have a young lady, she's still with me. She's been with me since she's 17. She's about 38 years old now. She came to me one day and she says, you know, my cervical cancer has come back. I said, okay. So I went inside her body, because that's what I do. I saw the cancer cells right there. And she told me that she was going for an operation the next day. So I told them, I said, look, you guys, want to thank you, but it's time for you to go. They're going to come in and they're going to surgically remove you. So I want you to be ready for that. I'm talking to them now. I said, but thank you because you've taught her such and such lesson. So I left, right? I said, okay, I'm going now. I said, you got it? You're going to go. They're coming in to take you. Okay. So the operation went well. The next day, she calls me. She says, I have an odor coming out of my vagina, Gretta. I said, oh my. I said, that means you have an infection of some sort. I said, let me go in again and look. So I went into her vaginal area around her cervix and I saw a dark, it looked black, like a patch over to the side. And I said, what is this? And I went over there and I said, what are you all doing there? And they were cancer cells. I said, why? What are you doing there? And they very nicely told me, they said, we were waiting. You told us that they were going to take us. We were ready to go. The doctor left us in here. So I said, okay. I said, so, but you still have to go. Come on, you've got to go. Come on with me. And I took him out of there. As soon as I took him out of there, the smell went away. There you go. That's communication. That's why we can heal ourselves. You know, we think we can't. We can heal ourselves. Each and every one of us. It's not just Gretta. Each and one, I say, talk anybody who's got any type of physical ailment, talk to your body. In fact, there's a whole, I don't know who created it, but there's a whole process. It says, I think it's either called body talk or it's called talk to your body. You know, where people are learning, yes, I can communicate with every cell in my body. I told you about my heart attack at home, right? Did I tell you about my heart attack?
Yes.
Okay, Good. So I hope I told the podcast about my heart attack. Did I tell them about it?
I think you did. It was when you were experiencing some chest pain, right? And then you just kind of got yourself and said, okay, I don't have time for this right now.
Yeah, I did.
Something along those lines.
I didn't know what it was. So I knew I just felt the pain here. And I asked the realm, because they're with me all the time. I said, okay, what's happening to me? And they said, oh, they very nonchalantly told me, oh, you're having a heart attack. I said, oh, thank you so much.
Well, what was that emotion, Greta?
Heart attack, anything that deals with blood.
Yeah, but what emotion?
That I'm coming to tell you.
Oh, okay.
That is lack of joy.
There you go. Back to the heart. What I said originally. Joy in the heart.
Back to the heart, because that is the blood. You could have a blood clot. And that
has to do with joy. Lack of joy.
Yeah, anything that had something to do with your circulatory system in any way, shape, or form.
Well, that's everything. The circulatory, everything runs in like if the blood isn't flowing, then you're dead.
Oh, but let me tell you the subtle body. I have to differ with what you just said, because
well, Greta, it seems like we're differing quite a bit.
That's all right.
Today.
That's growth. That's called growth.
Okay.
It's differing. I'm differing with you on that, because the electrical magnetic body, we have about 20 subtle bodies. We think that this physical body is it, and it is not. Some people know about the mental body, the emotional body. Some people, the astral body. You've heard those words.
Correct.
But see, you got a chemical body, you got a fluid body, you got all kinds. You got about 20 of them, really, about 20. So that they are the. See, I talked so much, I forgot what I was going to say to you.
Talking about joy in the blood.
Right. So it's I've lost the train of thought, so I've had a senior moment here.
That's okay.
Call this sucker back. But anyway, we have all of those bodies. All of those bodies work for us. I'm requesting to get that thought back, and for some odd reason, it doesn't want to come there.
Okay. Well,
so let's just move on, and later on it'll peek back up, and I'll say, hold my finger up, and I said, I got it again.
Yes, I was just thinking, because I don't want to say anger is good or bad. It's just anger, right? It's what it is. And
yes, absolutely.
But sometimes I want to think that, anger is a good armor mechanism. It's like a first responder, sort of, and it's like a defense emotion. And sometimes I think that if you ask anger, what are you really doing here? I think sometimes maybe it's a cover for something else. And maybe there's if you dig a little deeper, you could find some like sadness under the anger, because for me, it's maybe, like I said, it works as a defense mechanism. So it's easier to feel the anger than it is to feel the sadness or acknowledge that there's sadness under there, whether you created someone to say something to you that made you angry, or, to whatever those words are, that your first instinct is anger. I find that sometimes if you just question it a little, there's that sadness underneath. Or something
just described your experience to us.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So we have, I don't know if anyone else has that, but a lot of time our experiences are sort of parallel a little. Mm-hmm. So that is just my 2 cents.
I think
so it can be a teacher you know, if you want to just say like, come on, like, yeah, what is this? Like, what is it really?
It's like a Band-Aid covering up a wound of like a fear, like sitting below the anger is fear of maybe not. But again, it goes to a lack of love. Like if you have fear, you don't have love somewhere. And the anger like you said, protects that little wound of, maybe could be a big wound of not having love.
Well, see, you know what? That's why I say all the time, it's important for each person, each one of us inside this reality, to love ourselves.
Right.
Because when you love yourself, you're not going to create the experience of anger.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, and the people that you think that are going to be angry with you, stop being angry.
So
Because
it's a lesson, always a lesson.
Right. This whole experience here is nothing but lessons.
That's what I mean when I said honor the anger. Maybe it wasn't the correct choice of words, but at least recognize it, because it is the lesson. Like, don't push it away, because if you just ignore it or push it away, or like, then you're not recognizing that there is a lesson of like, there's something in my body here, like that I'm not loving, that that's why the anger is there to begin with.
That's possible.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to deny that. That's possible.
Mm-hmm.
It's just that how many people want to look and think that they're angry? A lot of people, when you tell some people, I've had the experience, I'm saying to people, well, you're angry. No, I'm not.
Well, that's more defense. That's more anger.
I'm not angry.
Another layer of it, denial of it.
Only thing is that all of these emotions come to us to assist us in learning something about ourselves.
Right.
Each and every one of them. It could be shame. It could be anything. It could be being peaceful and joyful. You know, some people could have, that might be one of their lessons. But I'll tell you one thing, the lesson that all of us have, it's a lesson. And people are always asking, what is my purpose? Meaning their purpose in this life.
Mm-hmm.
It is loving yourself.
Yeah. It's all the same.
Yeah, I think time is up for
Is
this.
it?
Yes.
Oh, we better take a break. Okay. Ladies, audience, we are at our halfway mark, and we will take a short break. We'll be back with the realm, and we'll see what they have to say about this quote today. Anger is a low vibrational emotion that attacks your liver. So stay with us, and thanks for listening.
Hello, and welcome back to Shifting Impressions, Conversations with the Realm of Beings. We are in the segment of the podcast that the realm has a direct link to us through Gretta, and they share their wisdom about the quotation we've been discussing today. So let's find out. Realm, are you here?
Mm-hmm.
Hello. So today we have been discussing the quotation, anger is a low vibrational emotion that attacks your liver. You were so direct in that. What more can you tell us about it?
Well, that quote, even though it's, like you said, it's very, what word did you use? Compact?
Direct?
It's very extensive.
Mm.
Because you can apply that to every part of your essence of who you are, which most people don't know who they are, really. Because we're not talking about name. We're not talking about being called Suzanne or Peter or whatever. We're talking about the essence of the being. So the liver is an essence. It's another being. It feels. It's like if somebody walked up to you and punched you in the eye, you're going to feel pain and feel hurt. So when you want to be angry at somebody, but get this, if you're angry at someone, you're angry thinking that they did something to you. You don't realize that you're the one that created it and did it, but you want to blame it on somebody else. So what is that doing? That energy, because anger is energy, that energy is turning around and it's going to sock you just like somebody socked you in the eye. You are socking your body. Now we put liver there because liver is an organ collectively that said, okay, if I'm in a human body and they get angry, to help them in both ways, it will be my job to assimilate the anger, to absorb the anger, you see. However, in that absorption, every cell in your body is absorbing it. They're not going to let the liver be out there by itself because all those cells inside your body form a collective consciousness. So they're not, and they're very community oriented. How can you tell that they're very community oriented? It's because they're always working together to keep your physical vehicle working. When one part because of your unconscious, you decide that you want the unconscious says, oh, lesson, we have a lesson here. So how are we going to show Mary Jane this? How are we going to show that? Okay, well, let's support her being angry. She's angry with her mother. Let's support that. So the anger really is internal because it's being internally produced. Nothing dealing with a human being is externally produced. Everything is internally produced. So the anger is internally produced and remains internal. It doesn't go outside to somebody else, not unless they want to decide they want to support you and be angry too. They get angry, and then you're out there fighting with each other or whatever. You know, then that person says, I'm going to be angry with you. I'm going to support you in your anger, and I'm going to be. So their cells all rally. See, it's a rallying effort. That's why after you're through with a anger experience, you say, whew, you feel worn out. I wore myself out. Well, yeah. You called all the cells to come to assist you and support you because that is what they do. That is their job, is to support the physical vehicle. So when you get out there screaming and hollering at somebody, or you getting angry with your boss and you go home and you're holding it, they're holding it with you. Don't think that they're not. We just use liver because a lot of people, humanoid people, feel that it's the liver that holds anger. So that's why we went along with that, because we said we're going to support you in that belief system, that you have different parts of your body hold different things. But in essence, everything inside your whole body holds it. Not
And
just one thing.
Oops.
Go ahead.
Is it held in those more subtle realms too? Like, what if you fill yourself up, your matter body, with anger? Does it go out into the other layers?
What do you mean by matter body?
You know, like this, if you fill up your cells, let's say your physical cells, you know, does it go into those other bodies?
Those 20 bodies, is that what you're
Right,
talking
like
about?
overflow, exactly.
It will affect everything. Because look what you're doing. You're affecting the chemicals in your body. You're affecting the chemical structures which help you to get angry. You're affecting the electrical parts that assist you in getting angry. All of these things are working for you to be angry. See, there is no separation in anything. There's no separation ever. The doggone thing doesn't exist. Nada. It doesn't. So everything is affected. In one class that Greta was in, she, one of her Seth classes, she told somebody, she said, if Joanne has a headache, we all have the headache. I'm going to say that again, because we taught her that. Mary Jane has a headache, or Joanne, or Peter, whoever the person is. Oh, I have a headache. Well, guess what? Everybody has the headache. It's just that you, in the illusion of separateness, you think you don't. But the cells are not accepting of that illusion, because they are existing and functioning, sure, in this reality, but they are recognizing the illusions that are out there. They know that they're experiencing an illusion. If they're having a cancer experience, they know, okay, we got this cancer experience. Hi, cancer, you over here. Okay, I'll give up. I'll support you. So the other cells in the body are even supporting each other. So if you get a cancer cell, that's how you get it, where it spreads, because the other cells are saying, it's okay. It's okay for you. I will support you in that, because that person has not learned their lesson yet. You must learn the lesson. And one of the big lessons, as we've been saying every week, is to love yourself. Love yourself. Some people don't believe that. They think, no, I don't think that that's not a solution. Heck, yeah, it's a solution. Because when you love yourself, are you going to say, chop off my hand? No. Are you going to say, spit on me? No. Are you going to say, sock me in the eye? No. Because I love myself. I am creating that which supports me and supports every cell in my body with love. With love. Not anger.
So if we were to, if we were to do the QDR for the anger, what would it sound like?
I release all emotions and thoughts that support me in, what is it?
Experiencing anger?
No,
Holding on to
no.
anger?
Creating and maintaining anger. I release all emotions and thoughts that support me in creating, because you got to create it, and maintaining it. You got to keep it there. Anger. I love myself unconditionally. That's the replacement. So anything, any angst, you're always replacing it with I love myself. That's the replacement. You know, that is that's the foundational replacement. Because you don't, if you say I have joy, that, you know, sure, you got joy for today, you don't have joy for tomorrow. So, but what you're doing is with I love myself, because get this, that is your normal state of being. Your normal state of being is love of self. So what we've come here for is to test ourselves in that. How much can I continue to love myself? How long can I continue to love myself? What will I create that shows me I love myself? I'm filling myself with love of unconditional love, which is deeper than to say I love myself. I love myself unconditionally. That is the replacement with the QDR. There are no conditions attached to it. I don't care what experience I've had. I don't care what experience that I have created and have gone through. Through everything in each and every one of them, I love myself unconditionally. Yes. So anger, anything, any of those low vibrations, you look at them as bad, but they're really not, because they're showing you something about you.
Right. That's what I was trying to get at in the beginning of the podcast, that, you know, that there's a learning in it, you know, if you pause enough to figure out what it is instead of just raging with it and blaming the other person.
But isn't that interesting that somebody would be angry and then it gets worse and worse and worse? They get more angry, then more angry, then more angry. And it goes into what you call raging.
Mm-hmm.
They keep going. So that means they haven't learned that lesson yet. So they're making it stronger and stronger and stronger. But when you don't learn something, you can create it to be stronger and stronger and stronger. So the next time that it's coming up again, it's going to even be more challenging than it was the first time. You can create it to be that way.
That makes sense. Or just, you know, I guess if you're storing up this anger, right, and you're piling it in the cells, when you get triggered by something, there's just a lot there, right? Is that how it works? There's you have an excess supply of anger, so it just, when it gets released, it just is so much there, it turns like from anger to rage.
Seems like a pressure cooker, like when
Right.
you have to just like open the valve and let the steam like blow out.
I had a young man that we were working with Gretta with. He was always angry. He just wanted to be angry and angry and angry. And because, we work with her with the facilitations. So this particular young man took his fist. He was so angry with his mother, and she was there, that he took his fist and rammed it through the wall next to her. And we said, well, she didn't do anything about it. She just accepted it because they have these classes here called anger management.
Yes.
They help people to manage their anger. He didn't want to manage his anger because he never thought to even go to one. He liked being angry. When you don't want to change something, when you don't want to stop something that you feel is hurting you, and you don't want to do anything, any movements about it, then that shows you like it. That shows you want it. There are some people in this world, with all of us, that they enjoy being angry at people. They will argue constantly with somebody. Constantly argue because they like it. They like being angry. They like calling people names without realizing that as they call the other people names, they're really calling themselves that name. You see, they don't realize. So anger, just see it as an isness, because it is the force. Ha-ha. You see, anger is the force. Can you imagine that? Anger is energy. And there's only one thing in true existence, and that is the force. So therefore, anger is also the force. That's why there's only an isness. We as humanoids create. Notice I said we as humanoids, because we're going to put ourselves with you. Sometimes we go through things as well. We tell you we create our own reality. We're challenged just because you see us as beings without physical bodies. We're beings of thought. We are thought beings, but we still have experiences. We still have them. Because this is what this creative experience is about. For every species that exists, lessons, learning lessons. Top lesson, I love myself unconditionally.
And realm, it's fine. I mean, there's absolutely no judgment for those people who want to be argumentative and just feel like anger is their constant companion. It's okay for everyone can be as they wish, right? And however, if you're loving yourself, you will cross paths with those people. You won't even create to be in the company of those people, right? Because you're loving yourself. So how could you cross paths with someone who is so angry all the time? Is that yes, no?
You can cross paths with the person who is angry all the time. However, when you cross that path and you come to that person for whatever
Agree with you, or
they will not show you anger, because that is not what you are creating to see.
That's interesting.
Love yourself within yourself, so that person cannot bring anger to you because you're not accepting of it. So you don't even have to worry about that, which is fear.
Right.
Of somebody coming to you like that. You don't, that's why we keep telling everybody, love yourself unconditionally, love yourself unconditionally. That's our mantra on this podcast. Love yourself unconditionally. as much as you possibly can. Don't look at yourself and say, oh, my nose is not straight enough. Or, oh, I wish my eyes were blue instead of brown. Don't do that. Love every inch of your being. Don't look in the mirror and say, oh, I'm too fat. No. Love every inch of your being. Every inch of it. Yes. Know thyself. That's up on your pyramids. There's that statement that we've just said to you, know thyself. That's back in ancient Egyptian days. But even so, it's still present. Back then, know thyself. What does that mean? Know that I am a divine being. When I love myself, I'm honoring. Yvonne, you talked about honoring anger. It's not about honoring anger. It's about honoring yourself. Honoring your own divinity, your divineness. Live in that joy. Live in that peace. Live in that knowledge. I am a divine person. I am the isness. Therefore, why beat up on yourself? Because anger is not something, we're going to say this again, anger is not something that is external. The illusion is that it is external. But the reality of it is, it's internal.
Right. Even it's internal, even if, you know, you're creating the experience of someone shouting out at you and you're thinking, oh, what did I do to make this experience? But if that's how the person's supporting you, then it means it's there, even if you're not feeling it at the time.
Absolutely. Cool. It's like proof of that. We always use the example of people who, let's say you have a cold. Did you go around walking around? Give me a cold, give me a cold, give me a cold. Come on, I want a cold, I want a cold. No, you don't. It just appears that it comes out of nowhere. So then you try to rationalize, how did I
went out without my jacket, my hair was wet.
Right.
Sue sneezed on me yesterday.
Right.
Yeah, people blame it on other people. So-and-so gave it to me.
Yeah, absolutely. They don't realize that they created it themselves.
Realm, we're getting to the end of another episode. We're in the final moments. Any thoughts?
No thoughts other than what we've been saying. And that is to look internal and love yourselves unconditionally, because you are, each one of you is a divine being.
And on that note, thank you, Realm. Thank you, Gretta. Thank you, Yvonne. Thank you, listeners, for joining us today for another episode of Shifting Impressions, Conversations with the Realm of Beings, until we create each other again.
Once again, thanks for joining us at Shifting Impressions, Conversations with the Realm of Beings on TransformationTalkRadio.com. As you have explored today's creation of reality experience with Leigh, Yvonne, the Realm, and me, Gretta, each of you is being supported by us in further developing the understanding that you are not just an individual existing in linear time and space, but a multi-dimensional force of infinite possibilities who is connected to all. So begin to create the realities you want. Join us every Friday at 8 a.m. Pacific Time and 11 a.m. Eastern Time on Shifting Impressions at transformationtalkradio.com. So long until we create each other again next Friday.